Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto was half Kryptonian and half Saiyan. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was an outcast Uchiha in the time of the Saiyans, and enjoy that guys. And also remember, for anyone this is the first time hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. And also guys, remember to go ahead and stick around for the rest of the what ifs coming your way over an Anime King. And yeah guys, remember to turn on that bell notification and stay posted so you can see exactly when I post. So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Begin the intro. So the last time we left off, the Raikage was going through the latest issue of the bingo book. A mere child had been placed in the bingo book already because of his accomplishments, but it was mostly by the name that he held, Senju. In the past, the Senjus were placed on high-profile targets. After all, none wanted another Hoshirama Senju, and now this child seemed to be turning into one of that, exactly as they fear. As Naruto was placed in a bingo book known as Superboy for his accomplishments for a few people, as they decided to call him that, the kids in the village that he saved, and not to mention his defeat of the several missing names and the enemy ninjas that they came across. Prominent missing names such as the Crusher brothers from the Hidden Stone, and the War Beast was on there as well. There was a bounty on his head for 15 million Ryu. The location of said bounty was not specified, only in the borders of the Hidden Stone, as they truly wanted any Senju rival to die. The Raikage had not put a bounty on Naruto's head, as he did not decide to embark in that as well, knowing that there will be setbacks to him placing a target on that child's head. For one thing, his mother was a Sanin and dangerous person, not that the Raikage feared anything, but still. There was a lot to think about regarding this, as the Tishikage did not put the claim bowl on his own village. We then skipped to said Konoha as Naruto was having an intense stare-off with Hayate. The reason being of, well, who Hayate was. Know who he was with at the moment. He was a boyfriend of Yujiro, Naruto-sensei, as the both of them talked, as Hayate couldn't allow him to steal his girlfriend. There was many other females within Konoha that would love to be with him. It wasn't even because of his name alone. As Naruto made his way off after their little talk, when he came across a rather beautiful girl. She came from the Hidden Sand village, as her brother had wandered off. As she informed Naruto about the hotel as he led her there, they spoke. Her name was Temari, as he introduced himself to her. With that, Naruto was making his way back when he ran into a guy, claiming to be the girl's brother. But it didn't seem like he was right in the head. Things escalate as he wrapped Naruto in the sand. Naruto looked undisturbed until a man jumped down known as Bake, as the Team 7 appear as well, ready to fight, seeing that Naruto was being held by this. But it was rather easy for Naruto to simply break out, as Gaara gave him a questioning gaze as he just break out that easily. Naruto was about to reprimand Gaara for threatening his family and his friends. Sakura was the one to calm him down though, as Gaara made his way off, thinking that Naruto blood would be a good sacrifice to mother. Some time passed as Naruto was greeted by Temari once again, as she came to thank him for, well, escorting her towards a hotel and apologize for her brother. He was just a jumpy one, as Naruto told her that it was alright. as he wished her luck in the exam even though they were not a part of the same team. She still couldn't believe that he was the one that was in the bingo book already at such a young age. The time finally came as Naruto and Team 7 had made their way. Upon arriving towards the location, there was something else going on. A strange boy was making his way as he was in the process of taking care of a man, killing him to be exact. The boy was moving at speeds that were not normal as he rushed back towards the location where he was supposed to be, only to find out that it was Orochimaru. As he handed the scroll to him, Orochimaru called the boy Zoom, which was fitting because of the way he moved like a zoom. Another one of the talented children that Orochimaru came across upon the meteor shower hitting the elemental nation, as he's been going around making sure these kids join his side for the future prospect of taking their ability into himself, as he was getting close on cracking the reason why these strange meteor rocks changed their chakra to different degrees, as he would like to know more about it. He was also curious about the son of Tsunade Senju from the reports that he read, as he wondered who was the father. It didn't seem like it was Jiraiya, so he wondered who was it. He was going to Konoha anyway, so he was going to find out. But he was not going to Konoha to just pay a visit. That was the last thing he wanted to do. Naruto and Team 7 made their way that day, as Naruto met up with his sensei, who wished him all the luck, but she knew that he had this already. As Kakashi met up with his team, who wished them good luck as well as they made their way inside. Something was also happening at a strange goo that had came to the elemental nation with Naruto. It was now festering within the earth, and out in space, stuck in a strange black hole, was a ship. It looked like a Kryptonian ship. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought you guys can switch across the playstick of yourself, and yeah. Without further ado, what do you say we leap into this new episode without wasting any more time, guys? We begin this episode with the gray-haired kid from Kumo, reading, as his eyes were looking towards Naruto. Nah, I don't see it, he said. See what? Asked Samoy as she stood beside him. I mean, he doesn't look like all that. He just looked like a normal kid to me. You're wrong. They turned towards their other teammate Yujito. I don't know what it is, but there's something about him. Maybe it is just raw confidence, but I can tell he's strong. Well, I don't see it, said Raiden, as all of them stood in the clearing. In front of them, Uncle Midoriya was currently speaking about the forest of death. They had passed through the first test with ease. It wasn't that hard. And now they were here to take the second test. But that wasn't their main goal at the moment. Their main goal was a few feet ahead of them. Meanwhile, Naruto scoffed when he heard Uncle saying how dangerous the forest was. He's been in there plenty of times and the forest was not that dangerous. Unfortunately or fortunately, Uncle heard him though, as she saw him not paying attention, pulling a kunai as she launched it right towards the blonde. As Naruto saw it coming, he reached out and plucked the kunai out of the air. Uncle flashed behind, but Naruto was gone. Uncle was confused. Wasn't he? You're fast. Uncle froze and she heard the voice behind her as she turned, as Naruto stood there with a smile on his face, as she was surprised, as she looked towards the kid and realized who he was. So this was the brat that Yuji was talking about, not to mention who had a bingo bounty on his head that was larger than most Jonins within the village. Some Jonins didn't even have a bingo book entry in the village. As Naruto handed her the kunai, as she gave him a slight smile, but he simply grinned back at her. Not only powerful but also challenging as well. Well then, Mr. Big Shot, she said, I hope you don't take it lightly in the forest. It would be a real trouble to see someone as promising as you die already. Oh, don't worry about that, said Naruto. The creatures in there can't hurt me. Oh, is that so? I see you're cocky as well. Oh, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, it's just plain simple facts, said Naruto, as Uncle merely smirked. Well then, I will be keeping my eye on you, she said. Back towards the Kumo group, Raiden was gaping in shock, as Samoy narrowed her gaze. Yujito's calculated eyes were fixed on Naruto. Did he just teleport, they wondered to themselves. But he did not wave any hand signs or anything else, he just moved. The proctor was about to flash behind him and then he just moved behind her so quickly. It even took her a few seconds to find out. Their gaze was lingering as Naruto turned towards them. The other two averted their gaze except for Yujito. As Naruto narrowed his gaze on her, he didn't know why but something felt off. Just by looking at her, he didn't know what it was. As he blinked few times and turned his gaze away, as he returned his attention back towards where Uncle was. As there was another in the back, watching him with a gleeful smile on her face. A grass ninja, she extended her tongue and licked her lips. Uncle noticed that majority of the people here were now looking towards Naruto as they also noticed that he had no team. No doubt many of them had heard about his entry in the bingo book. After all, it was not that often when you heard a kid so young had an entry in the bingo book, and not to mention the price as well. That kind of money would do some people well good. But give the kid credit she had to, because he didn't seem to give a damn about any one of them. He didn't seem to be scared or anything. In fact, he seemed to be totally calm, not paying them any mind. As she smiled to herself, she liked it. She explained the final part of the test. As all of the members came to get a scroll, Naruto received a heaven scroll as they were placed in front of their gates. As he felt the eyes upon him, but he said nothing. He knew that they were watching him. He had seen his entry in the bingo book. His accomplishment through the few months had gained him a lot of reputation out there. While it wasn't as big as most, it was still something. But it was also his last name as well. His mother had told him that in the past. There was a lot of people that placed entries on Senju members. It didn't matter if they were a baby or not. The reason being, they didn't want them growing up to be someone like Hoshirama Senju again, or Tobirama Senju. And with the path that Naruto was going down, people were starting to fear his name, thinking that he will become something that will change the tide of the world once again. After all, Konoha was known to be producing strong and extraordinary shinobis. But when it comes to Naruto, they had no clue, as they had no idea what he was capable of. The signal was given after a good 30 minutes, as they all head into the forest. Time skip. A few minutes later, Team 7 was tracking their way through the forest, as Sakura was the one leading them. I still don't get it. How do you know this place so much? Sasuke asks. I've been in here a few times, she said. So I know where the tower is. We just have to go down this path. But that still leaves the question, we have to get a scroll, said Mito. I mean, we can't just walk around in the open like this. I know. I never said that we're gonna walk out in the open. Follow me, she says. She leaped down, causing the others to follow her. At a distance behind them, the grass ninja licked her lips, a satisfied smile on her face, as she stalked them like they were her prey. As she moved after them, jumping from tree branch to tree branch. Meanwhile, as Naruto glanced around, he glanced towards the animals that did not try to hurt him in any way possible. The last time he was here, well, the last few times, he exerted dominance over them and showed them that he was the top of the food chain, and since then, none of them had attacked him. As he looked over to see a massive bear, who didn't even look his way as he walked past, Naruto moved as his ears picked up something, as he could hear the group up ahead, waiting to ambush him. As he smiled to himself, it would be fun, as he walked directly into their trap. The moment he stepped on the pile of leaf, wires came around his legs. It started from his legs before it wrapped around his arms. Kunai sprang towards the trees, as he was stuck there. The three ninjas leaped out of hiding, one girl and two guys. Their headbands showed the hidden Waterfall Village, so they were from Take. Well, looky here, the boy said. He had a small scar on his cheek, dark hair and blue eyes. The girl had honey brown eyes and dark purple hair. The other boy had blue hair and green eyes. The one with the scar seemed to be the leader, as Naruto looked at him before he focused on his back. It was then that the world changed around him, as Naruto could see directly through it. Yeah, another one of his abilities that he awakened as well. X-ray vision. The thing was, he could use this to look through almost anything. And when he said anything, he meant anything. The first time it activated was when him and his sensei was on a mission, when he was trying hard to see a certain destination ahead of him. And then it just happened. At first he thought he was losing his mind, but when he turned towards his sensei, he accidentally saw through her clothing. He had looked away as fast as possible. By then he had told her of his ability. She asked him what was wrong. For the rest of the day she made sure he did that while looking at her. But he promised that he would never do that. And he could not tell Jerry about this technique. The man was a self-proclaimed pervert who was always trying to spy on his mother, which proceeded to have his mother knock him out or something else. If he found out that Naruto could do this, he would try to take him to the hot tub and peep on the girls. Not to say the idea never crossed Naruto's mind. After all, he was a kid, and sometimes he got ideas. But he pushed those thoughts away. As he focused on the bag to see the scroll inside, he smiled when he noticed it was an Earth scroll. "Just my luck," said Naruto. The Scar Boy spoke up. "It seems he's so afraid he's lost his mind. Can't you see you're outnumbered and outgunned right here, not to mention, you're trapped." "Which one of you is in charge?" said Naruto. "I am," he said without hesitation, as Naruto put his gaze back on the Scar Boy. "Alright. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to let me go freely, otherwise I'm gonna knock you out. But if you let me go, I'll just take your scroll and you can walk away. Sounds fair?" The other guy laughed. Who the hell does this guy think he is? The girl narrowed her gaze. Wait, it's him. Who? That kid that we've heard about. Who's in the bingo boat that is our age. Wait, really? The Scarboy said. Ah, I see now. So that was the commotion earlier. That is why they were looking at him. I must say, I didn't put it to his face. He looks more harmless than I thought. But from what we heard, he's supposed to be virtually indestructible, right? Huh. Well, I guess Konoha is just boosting her reputation, the second guy said. The girl looked nervous though. Something didn't seem right. He was too calm, even after being captured. As Naruto raised a hand, shocking every one of them because how the hell did he raise that hand? The wires all pop as the kunais fell away. The group stood there in shock. How did you? The boy with the scar blinked as Naruto reached into his pouch and rummaged around. He was so shocked that it took him a few seconds as he reached. He pulled a kunai as he drove it down. The tip of the kunai cracked as it hit Naruto in the arm, but he paid that no attention as he found the scroll. He pulled it out. First try, he said. Awesome. As he stuffed it in his pouch. Oh yeah. As he turned towards the guy and finger flicked him in the forehead. His body was thrown through the air as he smashed right into a tree. Well, I did warn him, said Naruto as he walked away, leaving the other two dumbfounded. What the hell could they do against someone who could not be harmed by the kunai and not to mention hit the strongest one of them with a finger and knock him out cold? The girl or the boy, neither of them moved, they just stood there, frozen in shock, as Naruto left the area. That is when he heard a blood-curdling scream, as someone rushed out of the foliage. The person rushed as Naruto turned. They bounced right into him as they were thrown down to the ground. She winced out in pain as she hit the floor. As Naruto looked at her headband, the hidden rain. There was blood all over her body but not hers. Look in her eyes, one of fear, as she was terrified. Please, don't let him kill me, she begged. As Naruto was confused, that is when he saw the wave of sand coming towards her. It was about to gobble her up, but Naruto stepped in front of her as the sand wrapped around him. It was then that someone came walking with an umbrella that he stole from her teammates. Gaara had a smirk on his face. Well, he said. I wasn't looking for you, Senju. I would have saved you for the last, but it seems like fate has brought you to me, for me to feed you to mother. Feed me to who? Said Naruto. Gaara, said a voice. Temari and Kankuro jumping down. Temari's eyes went wide when she saw Naruto captured in the sand. Gaara, as she saw the girl that Gaara was hunting after behind Naruto, still terrified as ever. This boy was gonna die and she was gonna be next. Who is this? Said Kankuro, as Gaara ignored him, as he raised his hand. As Naruto's body started to be lifted off the ground, more sand wrapping around him. The only thing that was visible was his head. "This is not going to end well for you," said Naruto. As Gaara merely laughed. "You will die here," he said. "Gaara, wait," said Temari. But he ignored her. As Kankuro noticed, Temari's eyes narrowed as she tried to stop Gaara from killing him. As Gaara tightened his fists. "Gaara!" she shouted out. "Shut up!" he said as he waved his hand. A wave of sand threatened to blow her away, but she had to leap away. As she landed on a tree. It was then that Kankuro landed beside her. "Temari, what are you doing? You know how he's like when he gets like this. Do you want him to hunt you instead?" But that... she couldn't say what she wanted to say. As she looked down towards Naruto, who was about to be squashed. "Sand coffin!" Gaara clenched his fists. But nothing happened. Gaara was visibly confused. Once more. "Sand coffin!" But then again, nothing happened. As Gaara was confused as he clenched his fists. He clenched his fists, but nothing was happening. As Naruto's hand exploded out of the sand, before he started to literally tear it off his body, shocking Gaara and his siblings as well. As he turned towards the girl, "It's alright now," he said. "From the blood on you, I can judge that he killed your teammates. Go and quit the exam. You can't stay here anymore." The girl was shocked. "How did you... There's no time for that. You alone all out here." As Naruto pointed, "Just go that way straight. There's no one down there. There might be a few animals, but nothing. You wouldn't be able to handle it," he said. "And quit the exams. Go." She nodded dumbly, still in absolute shock, as she got up and walked away. "How? Why won't you die?" said Gaara. "I have too much to do to die," said Naruto. "I really don't know what your problem is. But I would hate to see Temari disqualified if I were to take you out, after all. You have to have your whole team to pass." "Hey Temari," said Naruto as he waved at her. She waved at him dumbly, still in absolute shock how he was not squashed. "Well, I'll see you," said Naruto as he took off. Gaara's-san was not able to go after him, leaving a very pissed off, irritated Gaara. As he moved off, his sand decimating trees and everything around him in rage. As he still had no idea how. Why didn't the Senju die? "What the hell just happened?" said Kankuro. "Temari, what's going on?" She was speechless. Meanwhile, Sakura screamed as loud as possible as the sonic wave escaped her mouth and barreled into the snake Saiyan. It threw him back with ridiculous force, his body toppling through several trees. She dropped to both knees as she coughed up blood her throat, becoming greatly damaged from exerting her ability so much. She panted. She glanced over to where Mito was, unconscious. The freak had slammed his 5 fingers covered in chakra in her stomach. He had taken her out, messed with her seal. She glanced as she heard the tree behind her moving and she saw Sasuke, stepping out from broken bark. "Sakura, take Mito and run," he said, his two-totem Sharingan in his eyes. "I'll hold him off. Are you crazy? He's gonna kill you." "There's no time for this. Take her and run now. You can't keep fighting like this. You're just gonna put yourself in worse danger." "I'll stop him," Sasuke said. As the laughter could be heard. "Oh my. Such a foolish act. Are you truly intend to risk your life, Sasuke-kun?" Sasuke didn't understand why things went from bad to worse so quickly. It was easy at first. They were making their way through the forest. They came across a team from the water village. They instantly took them out. It wasn't a hassle between them, as they merely have some low-level water techniques. And then this woman showed up. And after a long series of fights, it revealed that it was not a woman. Instead, it was one of Konoha's notorious missing names, Orochimaru. And now they were having a warm time. They were losing badly. As Sasuke was battled, his body was exhausted, but yet he refused to give up. Naruto would not give up when fighting for the people that he cared about. And somehow that brought him the strength that he needed to get back to his feet, and knowing that he could not die here. Sakura was coughing up blood, her throat becoming damaged after using her technique so much time. The grass ninja, aka Orochimaru, appeared in front of Sasuke. Leg raised high as Sasuke blocked it and tried to parry it as he flipped over. He brought his foot down but Orochimaru grabbed it and swung him, before throwing him into a tree. His body smashed into it. Orochimaru slickered forward, only for the girl to jump in his way. Annoying, she opened her mouth, but only blood came out as Sakura fell. "Sakura!" Sasuke cried out, as he quickly pulled out ninja wire out of his pouch and tied to a kunai and launched it. It wrapped her on her arm as he swinged it. Her body hit into the tree, but that was better than falling head first. He held on to the wires. Orochimaru rushed towards him. He quickly tried to jump away, but his stomach received pain that he never felt before. He cried out in pain as Orochimaru's fists buried into his stomach. "Let's see how much you can take before you drop her," Orochimaru said. Sasuke moved back, trying to get away, but the snake saw him, grabbed him and punched him once again, as he was finding it rather entertaining to see how much young Sasuke's body could take. After all, soon it will be his. Sakura's eye fluttered open when she heard Sasuke crying out, as her throat was raspy. She lifted her head to the sky as she took in a deep breath, as she screamed out Naruto. Orochimaru watched as he watched the stupid girl seem to be going illusional, as she screamed to the heavens instead of at him. Maybe he was wasting much time here now. Sasuke collapsed down to his knees, still holding onto the thread, as he refused to drop Sakura. As Orochimaru merely smiled. "Such devotion to your teammate. Well, now you finally understand that you need to get stronger if you're ever going to accomplish anything. And I hope that you can see that I am the only way when you receive this," as he extended his neck and bit into Sasuke's. Sasuke's whole body spasmed as his hand released the cord, as Sakura's body fell, her eyes dipping in and out of consciousness. Before she was caught, she slowly opened her eyes as she saw him looking down at her. No, she couldn't even speak. Blood came from her mouth, as Naruto was shocked. He's never seen her exert herself like this before, to the point where she would have to bleed. He glanced up towards the individual, who narrowed his gaze down towards him as Naruto gazed, looked through the bark of a tree and saw Mito over to the side, as she was out cold. His eyes saw a strange fluctuation on Sasuke's neck as he passed out. Well, well, well. I see now. So she called for you. That must be quite the hearing you have, Orochimaru said. And not to mention speed, after all. I made sure that no one is around. Naruto ignored him though as he walked to the side. Before he placed Sakura down as he leaped up, he landed on the same branch that Orochimaru was on, and picked Sasuke up as he jumped down and brought him down. Orochimaru watches him disappear as he reappeared a moment later, with a young child in his arm, Mito. As he rested her down, the three of them huddled beside each other. He then pulled his fist back and smashed it into the tree. Orochimaru watched as it broke. He proceeded to watch the child cover them with a tree, before he started to breathe, as he literally froze it into a makeshift shed, so they wouldn't be caught up in anything. I'll be right back, he said, but all three of them were unconscious. He turned his gaze towards Orochimaru. Orochimaru merely smiled. The son of Tsunade Senju, I must say. It's quite the honor. I mean, most shinobis don't get their name in the bingo book until they reach their prime. But you on the other hand, so young, so advanced. My mother told me about you, said Naruto. The vile of the earth. The worst of the worst scum. Orochimaru placed a hand over his heart. You wound me with your words, he said. What has Natty been telling you about me? I hope all good things, he said, that smirk. You run, traitor. How dare you step foot in here and hurt my friends, my family. I'm gonna rip you apart. Orochimaru merely chuckled as he saw a strange green flickering going around Naruto's body. As he tilted his head, the next thing he knew, a fist was at his face. He was confused. As the fist was coming in close, he pulled his head back as he tried to cushion the blow. But the force that hit him was like a train that was enhanced by hundreds of thousands wind attacks. When his body was thrown, it seems like the sound barrier itself broke as he whipped through the air at such speeds. Orochimaru's arms were just flailing behind him. The area that he hit went up in a massive boom like it was hit by explosives, just to show you the amount of force that he was hit with. As Naruto flew, that he wasn't even paying attention, he flew through the area with such speed the ground underneath him tore away. He arrived on the scene as the body was just lying there, only for another Orochimaru to burst from the ground. As he rushed up and smashed his fist in Naruto's face, testing something. Naruto's head tilted aside, but yet he just tanked it, his feet barely moving just an inch. Orochimaru had a duck as Naruto's hand passed over his head. He came up with a front kick as Naruto's head looked up when his feet smashed under his chin. But Naruto brought his head back down. His eyes glowed red as Orochimaru moved. The area was decimated as beams. Twin streams of laser tore apart the earth. Orochimaru flipped away as he opened his mouth. A snake came from said mouth. Out of Snake's mouth, a blade came and shot towards Naruto. Naruto raised his hand to smash the blade into pieces until his body felt weak. He staggered back on his feet like all of his energy was sapped away as the blade teared directly through his skin. Naruto was shocked. Orochimaru was surprised as well. From the reports, it was said that normal weapons could not pierce his skin. The Kusanagi was always a great weapon, but it was not that. Before it pierced his skin, he saw. It was like he lost all his strength. As Naruto was confused, he reached down in pain as he saw something that he never saw since a long while now. Blood. The last time he got cut was when he was very, very young, when he had dropped and hit his head on a boulder. Normally that would have killed a normal child, but he had survived. It was that day that he knew that he was not normal. As Naruto saw his blood, but it was not that he felt so weak. Orochimaru tore the sword out of Naruto as Naruto dropped to his knees. "Would you look at that?" Orochimaru said. As Naruto noticed a strange green marking on the blade. Orochimaru also noticed that said green marking was glowing ominously around Naruto. As Naruto tried to stagger back, Orochimaru placed the blade next to him. As Naruto winced. What is this? Is it the Kusanagi, or might I say he reached and plucked one of the strange crystal gems that he entwined with his blade. It gave his blade more density and structure. These crystal shards were like a gift from the heavens that he was using in a lot of his work, but it melded with the chakra of the Kusanagi. And not to mention people that it did not affect it always end up in some strange side effects. Orochimaru wanted to see how much people that the crystal shards could affect the meteor rocks, but yet he seemed to be afraid of them. As he tossed one of them at Naruto, Naruto staggered back as he winced, confused himself. Orochimaru started to laugh. Of all things, people get these shards and get powers, but you, it seemed to weaken you. Orochimaru stepped forward. Well, it seems you won't be a problem after all. Not to mention, I was going after your friend back there. She's one of them. That sonic wave that she released from her mouth, that is no mere jutsu. So she will be BAM! The snake Saiyan was caught off guard when Naruto's fist slammed into his nose, cracking it from the weight. The face from before that Naruto had hit had been, well, twist, so he had to switch his body, but now, the fist wasn't as strong as before. As Naruto shakily got up to his feet coughing up blood, the green aura flickered around him. Despite losing a great amount of his strength, he wasn't defenseless. He was a Saiyan and a Kryptonian. He didn't know what the hell that green rock did to him, but he looked up as his eyes started to glow. He would not die. The beams extended from his eyes. Orochimaru was forced to flee back as Naruto started to tear the entire forest apart. Trees started to trample the entire area as he burned right through the roots. He collapsed right on his knees once he was done. As he held out his hand, a ball of green energy started to flicker in his palm. As he started to push more and more ki, despite his wound bleeding, he started to apply more and more and more until he gripped it like a baseball and launched it. The snake Saiyan eyes went wide when the thing suddenly imploded upon itself. The explosion shook the very forest. As Naruto's body was blown, he was thrown away as he smashed through several trees, furthermore enhancing his own pain. He came to a stop face first in a crater. Orochimaru did not doubt that soon enough people would be on his trail for the mud that he switched behind, so he decided to flee. But he made a promise to himself to keep an eye on this child Naruto Senju. He was more than he seemed to be. Naruto, on the other hand, he passed out. Naruto was confused when he woke up to a strange place, a field of sorts. The field was nothing but pure raw destruction. Everything around was tempered to a great explosive battle that happened some time ago. As he saw two figures, but his vision was too hazy. One of them were on the ground though, in pain and agony. The other one stood tall. He then heard the voice. It was the same voice that he heard when he was fighting the war beasts. You are still a Saiyan. Now get to your feet. Rise! He couldn't see the person's face, but he saw the hair. It was green. And said person had a strange thing behind him wiggling, almost like a tail. The one on the ground Naruto could not see properly, but he seemed to be in pain. You are still a Saiyan. Now rise! The voice shouted at him. Naruto's eyes opened up in the real world. As he looked around, it seems like only a few minutes had passed. He looked towards his stomach, where he saw that he was still deeply wounded. He knew what he had to do, which was going to be painful as hell. He had to cauterize the wound until it healed on his own, because he didn't have any medical supplies, and that was one of the biggest problems with his ki. He could not perform medical ninjutsu. He lowered the density and the heat in his eyes. He screamed, but he did not move his head as he burned the wound straight down until you could not see it anymore. He slowly got up to his feet shakily, sweat on his face, but he was still on his feet. He didn't know what that traitor was doing in Konoha, or what the hell was that crystal shard, but whatever it is, it hurt him. He even remembered what Laura said to him. Everyone has a weakness. He guessed he found his. Those damn green rocks. Time skip. Sakura woke up as she cleared her throat, which was still hurting her as hell. But she noticed there was something wrapped around her throat. Bandage. She moved as she drew the attention of the person that was there. Ah, you're weak. As she tried to speak, don't try to speak. You suffer heavy damage in your throat, so it will take a while before it heals. But you should be fine. Just don't whatever you did exert yourself like that again. Sakura gave the woman a questioning look. Oh, my apologies. You're in the medical bay of the tower. As Sakura was still confused, You're probably wondering how you got here, right? Well, Naruto Senju, the son of Tsunade Senju, brought you through here. He carried you all himself, and handed in his scrolls, and yours as well. The child looked rather tired and surprised that he was able to lug you through here by himself. Seemed that he took injury as well. Sakura looked alarmed. Naruto was injured? As she tried to speak, but her throat was hurting even more. For now you need to rest. Don't worry, he will be fine. Meanwhile, as Naruto's shirt was off, Tsunade was looking at his stomach. It had healed over nicely, but there was still a mark there. The woman was beyond pissed off when she heard who of all people stabbed her son. It was a good thing that Naruto had calmed her down before she went crazy. She was gonna run out in the forest to check for him herself and kill that snake freak. But he was nowhere to be found. The Anvus had searched head to toe. Orochimaru was gone. Hiruzen had to calm her down before she destroyed the tower, and also put everyone that wasn't used to the amount of killer intent that she was wreaking in a state of panic. As she was literally producing so much killer intent, the rage in her eyes to see her baby boy. Usually, she didn't have to worry about Naruto getting wounded or scars because his skin was rather durable, dense. And yet, now he got stabbed. Yes, he got stabbed by Orochimaru of all people. "I'm fine, Mom," said Naruto, as he saw that she was just worried for his sake, as he allowed her time to calm down. As he hopped off the table, "See? 100% fine." "Are you sure?" she said, as she examined his stomach once again. "Yep," said Naruto. "It doesn't even look like it's gonna leave a scar," said Naruto as he looked towards his wound that was completely clearing away, despite him cauterizing the wound. Tsunade breathed a sigh of relief. "Once I get my hand on that decrepit snake, I'm gonna wring his neck." "Not if I get to him first," said Naruto, as Hiruzen saw the evil look on the both of their faces, as his student had just pissed off someone who shouldn't be pissed off, two people that were now gunning to end his existence. Although he was still quite surprised that Orochimaru was able to find a way to pierce Naruto. "Naruto-kun," he said, as Naruto turned towards the old man. "These rocks, what exactly are they?" "I'm not sure, but it's like a shard of sorts. Just in close proximity, I feel weak. I still retain some of my strength, but it's nothing close to what I can actually do." "So it saps your strength away," said Tsunade. "Majority of it." "Yeah, because when I hit him the second time, I just broke his nose. And I was intending to take his head clean off, but I'm still surprised he got back up when I hit him the first time. He should have lost his head, but yet, his body just seemed to be empty. Like it was some sort of shredded skin." "What are you saying?" said Tsunade. "When I hit him the first time, he was sent sailing and he came from underneath the ground. The body that I hit was like it was there, dead. But he re-emerged new, without even a scratch." Orochimaru was always a tricky one. There is no doubt in my mind that he found a way to create a jutsu that even stopped him from going on the edge of death and pulling himself back. "Well, the next time I know, I'll just watch out for those shards," said Naruto. "But he will pay for what he did. How's the others coming along?" He looked toward his mother. "They will be just fine," she said. "Sakura, throat was a bit messed up, but she should heal before the days are up for the tournament. You know that you bringing them here shattered all past records, right?" As Naruto smirked at that, as she patted him on the head, glad that he was alright. Hiruzen was glad as well. Time skip. Naruto was fast asleep, as he was having a dream, but it felt so real. He saw the two men from before. This time they were a distance away and they were flying. Their attacks were shaking the surroundings. As Naruto stood there in awe, he could not speak. He literally could not speak. The only thing that he could feel was his arms and his head. He wasn't sure that he had a torso or legs. It was like he was floating there. Both men were not paying him attention though. They were just fighting for all their heart as they crushed the landscape and decimated the grounds. The one with the green hair was getting more and more powerful, as Naruto could feel it. The one in the strange blue and red was gaining more power as well, as both of them seemed to be getting stronger and stronger, as their fists collided, creating a powerful shockwave that threw Naruto out of where he was. As he woke up, he didn't know what was going on, but that strange green one did tell him that he was still a Saiyan. Did that mean that it was only his Kryptonian side that got hurt? He will have to speak to his biological mother to find out what was going on after the exams were done. But he was feeling much better now, as he was greeted by Mito. It turns out that that bastard snake placed a seal over her seal to knock her out. Her mother had quickly removed it with Fuinjutsu. Sasuke had healed up rather quickly as well, the mark on his neck. Naruto didn't know what happened, but Kushina and Kakashi had taken a look at it, as they had went to seal it off, as they said. Seal it off how Naruto wasn't exactly sure. He was not that good in sealing arts. But Sasuke seemed to be fine. He was just a bit humiliated about his pride after being destroyed by the snake Sannin. But he shouldn't be feeling that way. That man was a Sannin, like his mother, and he was strong. But Naruto promised next time he saw him, he was gonna wring his neck. And there was no stopping that. The only thing he had to worry about was those crystal shards. He would just destroy them from a long distance before he attacked. But today was finally the day. Teams had rolled in from all different areas. A bloodlusted Gaara had walked in by the third day. Gaara could have arrived by the first day, but he didn't want that. Instead, he went around slaughtering teams in the forest, just to vent out his anger. When he saw Naruto, he wanted to attack, but there was too much people around here that would try to stop him. So for now, he just remained docile. Naruto paid him no attention as he smiled towards Temari. Temari smiled back at him, but she turned her gaze. When Gaara looked towards her, she knew that he was getting more and more angry with her behavior, and he was always wanting to do something unpredictable, and she didn't want him to turn his wrath upon her. So with that, they were all gathered by the Hokage. As Naruto glanced up to see his mother up there, Kushina was up there as well, and so were the other Jonin senseis. Hiruzen was giving a speech, but Naruto turned his gaze. He looked around all the people that were there. Majority of the group was the Konoha ninjas. Guy team was here, Kurenai's team was here, Asuma team was here, Kakashi's team and him was here as well. There was also a team from Konoha that he did not know, with some adult boys in it. One with the glasses and the silver hair that gave them instructions in the exam about the other competitors. And there was also the team from Kumo. They seemed to be fine, not even a scratch on one of them. The Sand team with Gaara glaring at him. And there was also a team from the Zone as well. That was the numbers that were here. Hokage-sama, if I may. As Naruto heard the voice of Hayate as he glanced up. As he glanced towards Eugeo, who was over the corner, watching the whole proceedings. She had came by to visit him, just to make sure that he was okay. She was shocked that he got stabbed. He heard Hayate telling anyone that if they couldn't compete, they can go. An arm was raised. Naruto was surprised that Kabuto was giving up, seeing that he didn't look so bad off, as he said that he didn't feel up to it. Naruto scanned his body and looked right through him as he didn't see anything wrong with him. So why was he lying? Although Naruto saw his chakra pools, it looked rather large for a normal genin. It seemed off. But the guy did help them out, and he didn't show any malice towards anyone. But Naruto was confused why he was giving up already. As he left, "Is there anyone else?" Hayate asked. He glanced around but no one said anything. "Alright then, let us proceed. As I was saying, if your name pops up on the board, you'll be fighting whoever name pops up as well. The rest of you head up to the stands." As Naruto noticed that the Kumo team did not have a Jonin sensei, nor did the Sound team have one as well, as he wondered where they were. The first name to pop up was Sasuke versus Yori, one of Kabuto's teammates, as the Hokage and Kushina seemed to have a keen eye on Sasuke as they watched him. Once he started the battle, Kushina nodded towards Okage. She was confirming that it was alright. His chakra was separate from the curse mark. He was not subconsciously drawing on the curse mark. That piece of thing that Orochimaru put on him was complex, much more worse than one that Anko had. It seemed to have upgraded over time. Yuri had the ability to suck people's chakra, but Sasuke was above him, as he was using the first fighting style of the Uzumakis, which Kushina had taught him. He used that to dominate the fight. He didn't even perform a jutsu. His Sharingan was not even activated. Yuri wasn't that strong. Or maybe Sasuke was just better. He dropped the guy as he made his cool. Uchiha walked back towards the stance, priding with arrogance, as the others noticed that. The board went through name once again, as Naruto saw name Raiden popped up, versus Naruto Senju. Naruto eyes widened at that with happiness. Don't hurt him too bad now, said Yujiro to him. Oh, don't worry, Sensei, said Naruto. As he made his way down there, Raiden had a smirk on his face. Now I can finally show you guys that the hype is not so much, it's just a hype. Be careful, said Samui. You know that you tend to overthink things, and rush into things and you end up getting humiliated. That was a long time ago, and I'm different now. Well, I don't see much changes, said Yujito. Come on guys, why do you have to do me like that? Raiden. His name was called once again. I'm coming, he said, as he made his way down there. Are the both of you ready? Hayate asked. Yep, said Naruto. Raiden nodded. Alright, begin. So you're Naruto Senju, huh? Said Raiden. Yep, that's me, said Naruto. And who are you? Well, didn't you hear? I'm Raiden from Kumo, the one that's gonna defeat you. Because you see, he pulled his sword off his back as he pointed towards Naruto's face. I don't see the hype about you. I mean, you don't look that special. I don't, said Naruto. But why would I though? Everyone is special in their own way, he said, as he smirked, seeing that answer pissed Raiden off. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I do, said Naruto. But I'm not the one being cocky here, you are. You heard about my reputation and yet you still believe that there's a chance that you can win. Snelly shook her head, but she was smiling. Even after what happened with that damn snake, he was still as confident as ever. She was glad that he wasn't dampering his spirit, that there was actually something that can hurt him. After all, he spent most of his life knowing that his skin was becoming, well, unbreakable. But now there was something that can hurt him. She thought at first that it would have some negative drawback on his psyche, but he seemed completely fine. And he didn't seem bothered by the blade. Naruto did not know why, but he was calm. In fact, since he got stabbed, it was like this instinct inside him was awoken. He always liked a good fight, but now he was relishing a good fight. Actually knowing that he could get hurt. It kind of sounded fun. But not with Orochimaru. That snake deserved to die. Maybe once this is over, he and his mother could go for a real spar. A real fun one. Hey, are you paying attention? Oh sorry, I zoomed out there, said Naruto. What were you saying? Never mind, said Raiden. Let's see you keep up with this. As Naruto watched as he moved side to side. As Naruto noticed that he sent chakra down to his feet, a large quantity. He had excellent chakra control for his age. He then proceeded to move, leaving after images of himself. As he left 3 of them, he then appeared in front of Naruto as Naruto dodged aside, the blade whipping down through the air, as Naruto ducked and turned and twists. The after images all slashing at him, but he evaded the real strike. Raiden jumped back. What the hell? Oh, you think I can't see through your after images? That kid has no idea what he just signed up for, Asama said. You're telling me, said Kurenai. Kick his ass, big brother, Mito said. As Sakura simply smirked. Yujito and Samui narrowed their gaze, as he was being too calm about this. As Naruto stood there. As I was saying, you want me to show you after images? Alright then. He started to jump from side to side until there was at least hundreds of him started to gather in one spot. As he was moving so fast, his body started to take on a blur. So much of him right there, Radiant eyes could not keep up. And that's over, said Naruto as he poked him on the forehead. Not to knock him out, but just to show him that his after images were better. How the hell? Was that... What did you... Never mind. As he went through handstand and sent chakra down his blade. You see this? This blade is a chakra conductor. So with this, I'll end this. As he moved forward. Prepare to fall at my hands. And know my name because it will speak through it as a legend. Raiden of Kumo as he brought the blade down. Naruto took in a breath as he blew. Raiden watched with shock as his blade started to freeze over. Ice started to overtake the electricity. As the blade fell as it turned into a block of ice, Naruto rested a hand on Raiden's shoulder. Raiden was speechless that he reached him in time. Night Night, said Naruto as he drove his fist into his stomach. Raiden keeled over on Naruto's shoulder, his eyes rolling back in his head as he passed out. The ninjas upwatched him with awe. So easy, so simple. As the medics came over as Naruto placed him down on the stretcher off his shoulder. He looked towards the block of ice before he lifted it up. He then dropped it as it shattered. The blade came out perfectly fine as Naruto placed the blade right on his chest. He's gonna want to have that. As the blade was taken away along with Raiden. Winner! Naruto Senju, said Hayate. The others were shocked. As Tsunade shouted, "That's my boy," she said, as Naruto looked up with a beaming smile. Others shouted out his name, even though this was just an exhibition match. As he made his way back up, he walked past the Kumo team. As he felt it once again, it was that same feeling when he was fighting the snake. Now he could understand what it was. But which one of them was it coming from? One of them had a green shard on them. As he noticed, the one with the two braids had on a necklace, but he could not see exactly what kind of crystal was the necklace, as he wondered. Maybe it wouldn't be too good to stay next to her, especially if they were gonna fight. As he walked away, but she was eyeing him like he was some sort of meat, and she was a hungry predator. What was up with that look? As the board went through names once again, it was Soccer versus Dosu. But guys, if you ain't subscribed right here, if you want something important to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell in case I stay posted. Remember, share all of your friends to social media platform. But I'm over now, see you guys soon. Peace.